Sunday? Sunday?
Last week.
It's Mother's Day on Sunday.
I can turkey hunt early before my mother even gets up. Right, Dave?
Okay, so we're good to stand for a pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is recognition of visitors, and I see that nobody, we didn't have anybody sign up to address the board, so unless somebody raises their hand and would like to do so, we're going to move on to the next item. Okay. At this time, we'll call to order the regular meeting of the Waterloo Local Board of Education. Roll call, please, Tom.
Tom? Here. Whittlesey? Here. Wilson here.
Here.
Fletcher? Here. Jones?
I am here.
Item 4 is the President's report. Just have two quick items. As I'm sure most of you have heard, that we're going to be losing Mr. Hill is moving on to become the superintendent of another school district, and a lot of people have on their minds what are we doing to look at replacing Dr. Hill, and I just wanted to kind of say that we're exploring all of our options. We haven't made any decisions at this point in time, but we are exploring all of our options, and there'll be more information forthcoming. Hopefully that gives some people at least some guidelines of where we're at. But we will, as soon as we get make any decisions on the process we're going to take and how we're going to move forward, we will certainly let everybody know. Now, what I think is the best part of the evening is the accommodations. So what I'm going to do is I'll read the name and the accommodation, and then when you come up, I'll give you your accommodation, shake hands, and you can kind of go around the ring there and go after your seat, I guess.
Exit stage left.
Exactly. We're going to start off with two. Well, all the accommodations are very special, but the first two are very nice, and it's something that I've always talked about. Anybody that's ever heard me talk about Waterloo community knows that it's just someplace that's near and dear to my heart. I think that the Waterloo community is the greatest place in the world to live. The sun rises and sets right here, and that's just my feeling. You don't have to agree with me, but I think it's the greatest place. I think our schools are great. I'm proud of the communities, and there is just no place else that I'd rather be. And with that, the Ohio School Boards Association offers the ability to us to nominate businesses for awards. And the first business is for getting an award is for their continued service and dedication to the school district. That is Bob's Pizza and Drive-Thru with Brad Miller. Brad and I graduated in 19-something from
81.
I didn't want to tell him that. From the class of 81 from Waterloo. It's great to see he's here helping out so much.
I still got some leftover chicken in the fridge. Better 2 days later.
And the next business is for special project assistance, special projects help. And D&M Contracting helped us out tremendously with some drainage issues that we had up on the fields. And we want to recognize them for all their help throughout the years. And also Dave is a Waterloo alumni, right? So D&M Contracting. And again, thank you very much to you guys for all your team support. We really need. Okay. Accommodation for May Teen of the Month, Tyler Brothers. I see Tyler here. Accommodation for May Teen of the Month, Jamie Willis.
She said.
Accommodation for April Teen of the Month, Ryan Curran. Accommodation for April Teen of the Month, Kelly McMahon. Kelly is going to Mount Union, and yeah, I happen to know she made majorette, so good luck. Next year. March Teen of the Month is Colin Edwards. And March Teen of the Month, Caitlin Stevenson. Congratulations to all of you, and appreciate it. Job well done. I think Brad always knows what I'm.
Where are you going?
I'm going back to work, I'm sorry. I got ice cream to scoop tonight.
Baseball game.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Brad knew what I was going to say, I guess. But, you're certainly more than welcome to stay. We'd love to have you, but we're going to completely understand if you follow Brad out. So whatever you'd like to do.
We know how to change the crowd.
Kelly's making you stay.
I thank you.
Okay, that brings us item. Okay, item 5 is superintendent's report.
Most of what I have is already written about, unless there's any questions about it. I do want to mention one thing. Jeff Freeman's with us again. Remember, Jeff was here in the fall, and we talked about this memorial area that we're going to do. We have settled on a location for that. It's actually right outside of this door over here to the left of that sidewalk. We're still working on a date. We originally were looking at May 18th. Some of you were unable to be there, so we were looking at June 1st to possibly team it with the community day that the Community Action Committee is doing. And I know they're working on finalizing some things there. So as soon as we are able to do that, we will get word out. But I know Jeff has picked out the tree, and he's also getting the stone marker that we're going to put out there too. And yeah, it's our hope that that'll be the first part of a memorial area that we put install something along the lines with the signs from our school too that we have in the courtyard. So again, Jeff, we want to thank you for what you're doing with that. We really appreciate it. Other than that, any questions on any of the items we have there? That's all I have.
Thank you, Amy. Item 6, treasurer's report. Tom?
We need to add to the agenda tonight, addendum items code to our consent agenda under superintendent's business. We also need to include under item J, Michelle Mullenweg, substitute aid, if she is receiving an aid contract under item A.
Thank you, Tom. Maplewood Career Center update.
The last meeting that I attended, the feature program was cosmetology. We got to go in and check out the new lab that they have there. And it's the first time I've been there in that lab since I was in school there. So they have a really nice lab. learning a lot there. Went over a couple different things. They had their National Honor Society induction earlier that evening. Wanted to make mention about Emily Mueller that had competed in the state and came in 6th place in her state competition for administrative and medical office technology. And she is now in the national BPA competition in Florida right now this week. Maplewood is now updating their logo for the school. So they're in the process of designing it. It's either a new leaf or an M design, which that'll be coming out here shortly. The Chestnut Hills Park Pavilion construction project in Ravenna is now complete. If you were up in Ravenna, you can go check out that. And the annual auction will be held on May 25th this year at Maplewood. If anybody's interested in any items, they have an auction every year there at Maplewood. And then graduation will follow right after that in May. That's all I have. And that we just gonna read out the minutes and all those things. That's all I have.
Thank you, Diane. Legislative update, Ken?
Okay. The General Assembly is monitoring 44 different bills or initiatives. They have priority on one, which is the biennial budget. Presently this week, well, a little bit more than a week, they've been doing some revisions and having input from different constituencies. Some of the things to put on our radar, along with that biennial budget bill, which is critical, would be the House Bill 59. And most of these things I think we get through our OSBA newsletters and such. That goes out to the board members. But House Bill 59 is of particular interest, and it has regards to the transportation formulas and some of the different ideas that they're going to be initiating as far as changes. So I would bring that to your attention. That's something that would play a major concern to our district, as well as Senate Bill 21, which is is 21 the teacher evaluation process?
I think 21 is deal with some of the changes that we
Yeah, reading. Okay. So, you know, if you have time, definitely take the opportunity to research those bills and be familiarized with those. I'm sure in the next month and a half, those are going to be important pieces of legislation for us to consider. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Ken, appreciate it. Item 9, new business. I'll start off with that, if that's okay. I probably should have done it under the superintendent's report, like Mr. Bill was signaling for me to do this. See, one of the board members has mentioned to me that there's been a lot of questions about the participation fee and what we're going to do with that. And we had said back a couple months ago after the levy passed, so it must have been in February, right? That we were waiting for the revised just 5-year forecast to come out, which is something we're going to be approving tonight. So with that, we're looking at maybe either June or July meeting. As you might guess, we've had some other things come up that are pretty serious and going to be pretty time consuming here the next month or two, so maybe 3, depending on how things go with our superintendent search. But we'll plan on looking into that either June or July. So, and what I'd like to do, I'll say this now, what would be really nice is we just do what we do, we make a decision, whatever month that is, and do what we're going to do. And whatever that is, stand fine with whatever it is. And we don't want to drag it out and build up people's expectations.
Right.
Necessarily. So, okay, that was the only thing I had. Anything from Lisa?
Yeah, a couple things. We got a letter from the athletic boosters. They wanted me to read it. Dear Waterloo administrators and school board, Waterloo Athletic Booster Club, and Waterloo student athletes, we'd like to thank you for your recent contribution. Our annual reverse raffle held on March 16th at Paradise Lake Golf and Banquet Center was a great success. The items that were donated by businesses, community organizations, and individual Waterloo supporters are a true indication of your continued investment not only in our student athletes but in the youth of today. We realize that there are multiple organizations that ask for donations throughout the year, and we truly appreciate your contribution to the Waterloo Athletic Booster Club and the student athletes of the Waterloo School District. Without your help, the Waterloo Athletic Booster Club would be unable to maintain its current level of support to all our student athletes. Once again, we thank you for all of your continued support. Again, just to reiterate, in case anybody doesn't know, the Booster Club provides all of our athletic uniforms. And I don't believe there's any other booster club in the area that does that. So we're very blessed to have a group that helps us out on that account. The other thing I had was we had a group of kids from Mr. Riley's class compete in an envirothon last April 24th, 2 weeks ago, I guess it was. I don't think they did great, but I think this is their second year doing it. They go out, there's 40 different schools that show up, and they go out and identify things in the woods and the wilderness and all that sort of thing. So, but it's something that Mr. Riley does, and he takes his time to do that, and I think that's great. It's another thing outside the classroom that we've gotten to the point where we teach for the test, and it's one of those things that has nothing to do with any standardized test. So it's kind of nice that we still have that. So. And then did you want to mention about board?
Well, I think Amy talked about everybody, right?
Yeah, I get the
Board.
As far as this board award info goes, if you could get your selections back to me by next Wednesday, that we want date on that. Wednesday the 15th. That'll give us time to order the flag for the winners.
Wednesday the 15th, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, and then also just as a side note to that, please get your money to.
Yeah, damn, that's so good. Forward to me.
Just,
Anything else? Diane?
I just had a couple of things I wanted to mention. It wasn't the last meeting, but I think last month when we had the accommodations, Tommy Saviors came in, and he got an accommodation about something, and Andy was talking about how he went, it was post-secondary, correct? He got this kid, if I'm not mistaken, 37 college credits. One of the things that I'd like to see, I don't know how we start it or who's going to do it or whatever, I'll pitch in and help whatever we need to do, but I'd like to see us come up with some kind of a formal presentation on this dual credit and post-secondary opportunities that our kids have. I would assume that we would want to do it. I believe Lisa or Brian, when I mentioned it before, said we want to do it with the 8th grade kids or whatever. That's
all that kind of stuff. So I know when my daughter was in school, a lot of the kids didn't take it to post-secondary because of that option. Now, one of the things within the last two years, we've gotten some dual credit classes, which is nice because they can take those here and still get college, they get credit here as well as transferable college credit from either Youngstown State, Kent State, or Stark State. So we do have like total, how many classes? Four classes that can do that, and we're always trying to work to meet the requirements to add more. So, but I kind of thought 8th grade would be, you know, when we do a lot. We have some meetings with the 8th grade student body to get them ready for high school and make them aware of what's required for graduation from high school and all those kind of things in preparation for their freshman year. And then we even have a freshman orientation day on Tuesday. And I would think that would be the time to grab them and say, you know, because it's one thing to let the kids know, but also the parents know the responsibility. So, you know, to me, that would be the time to try to get them in there. That would be, the sooner the better, earlier.
February.
Well, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we pull down 2 high school students to speak at 8th grade graduation?
Yeah.
What do they speak about? It's been a year.
Just their college or their high school career experience.
Could
And
we pick 2 that have done dual credit or post-secondary, and then they could maybe speak about that?
we absolutely could. This year they're already picked. I picked from the valedictorians, but that could be something we
Could we
would.
pull another one in to speak
Sure.
about that? Someone that's had.
I don't see why Tommy couldn't speak on that if I asked him.
Okay. I mean, I'm just thinking that might be a good thing to have.
Sure.
Because the parents are there, most of them show up for 8th grade graduation, so. But I think you start there, but I think you continue with 9th grade and 10th grade, because I think, you know, those kids, I think that's gonna be a huge thing in the future, because especially, I mean, I say this about Waterloo, but I'm sure it's like this in a lot of schools, but, they don't have to pay for that. His first year of college is done and not paid for by his parents or by him. So that's, for us, that's amazing. So that means, you know, someone only has to pay for 3 years of college. So that's nice.
And that's I mean,
That's huge.
most, even all state schools, just tuition for 1 year is around anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 just for the state school. And if they live on campus, we're talking another 10. So that could be anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 of money that their parents don't have to pay out.
Yeah, and private schools around here start about 28,000.
Yeah, you go up.
You can get it go up.
I think the sky's the limit.
Well, the most I ran into was Ohio Northern, and that was like 49,000. But Mark Chalmers is going down to is it Ohio Westlake, and I think his mom told me that's like $55,000 a year. So, but I mean, that kid, he got, you know, a lot of money with his ACT and a high GPA, and you know, but I think he still only got about half. So, but I mean, you're talking top-notch education.
Well, the other thing, while we're on the subject of helping kids get ready for college and that, we started this ACT prep course because when it comes right down to it, there's some magic numbers on the ACT. If you get a 28, you're going to get a huge chunk, if not all of your tuition paid from most state schools in Ohio. If you get in the 30s, you're talking, you know, you get 32. And so anything we can do to help increase that score, you know, the average score is roughly around between 22 and 24 is roughly the average score. So we've started that program too to try to help kids increase their score on the ACT. But maybe one thing would be good, and I don't know if Mr. Schmidt would do something, how about frequently asked questions about earning college credit while here at Waterloo? And then on a one-page deal, front and back, that we can put out with the papers that go out during 8th grade. You know, a lot of papers go home during 8th grade scheduling time, and again, when report cards go home during the course of the year. I mean, and maybe just keep getting it out there. That seems like that would be, at least they call attention to it as possible.
I mean, I'm on my second kid in college, and I'm still learning about, oh God, the FAFSA. I hate that. But it's, you know, the more that we can do to get these kids ready for the next step, you know, I am all for that. You know, we got some very capable people here. I'm kind of the new kid on the block as far as the board goes, and I know I'm involved a lot in the school in some other areas, but not so much in this area. So, I mean, we may be doing stuff like this, and I don't know, so. But when I have an idea, I just gotta let it go.
That's fine.
I'm done.
Anything else? If everybody is,
Why do you keep looking at me? I don't see what I said.
You always gotta have the last word, that's
kind
all.
of like, yeah, it's just. All right, so that brings us to item,
Consent agenda.
I believe we want us to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yeah, I got a couple of comments made after the motion.
Okay, can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? A second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, comments?
Yeah, just a couple things I wanted to point out. First is item H under my section. I have the recommendation of hiring Mr. Mason Hart for the English position that's being opened by the retirement of Mrs. Casper. Mason's here tonight with his girlfriend Alyssa, so I just wanted to introduce him and welcome him officially to Waterloo. He's been doing, recently just completed his student teaching here. We put him through a pretty extensive hiring process, quite honestly, probably the most extensive that I've done during my time here. So I'm confident in telling you that I think we have a very good guy here that will do great things for this district. So welcome, Mason. Thank you very much. I did not make him watch.
You made me watch his heart twice.
No, that's all part of his extensive, that's how he got me first time on my first board meeting. By the way, the rookie washes the superintendent's car. I said, oh, okay.
Took you what, 3
It
meetings?
took me 3 meetings.
Welcome. Mason, we look forward to seeing you around the hallways.
The other item I wanted to comment on, Todd's got in front of you this 5-year forecast. Yeah, I just wanted to make a couple brief comments on it. You know, we've done our best to be very close to what we had shown the community before we passed that levy in February with where we would be getting out 5 years to that fiscal year 17 mark. There are some things in there that have changed since the fall that he's gone in and adjusted with retirements like Mrs. Casper and the hiring of Mason. Those are all reflected in there. We have some other potential staffing things we may look at here for the fall that are reflected in there. We have our change in hospitalization. Our rates came in much better than we had anticipated again this year through our consortium, so those new numbers are reflected in there, along with what they're telling us we should expect for rates moving forward next year and beyond. Though I will say, and they're telling us to project 10% for the rest of this forecast starting next year. This year's rates came in at 3.6%, which is great. But they're also letting us know that it's really hard right now to come up with a definitive amount because of this new federal health care law. And there's impacts, and some of those are reflected in here too. For example, employees that work 30 hours are now eligible under the new program to receive health care coverage. Whereas in the past, for our teachers, they were full-time, and for OC, it was always 35 hours. So there's some changes there that will hit us. There's some taxes and other things that go into that. So as we look at this is what we have based off of the best estimations that can be given to us projecting forward. But one area that really is going to be hard to read and probably will be for each year moving forward for a while is this whole health care piece because of the new legislation. So
The new hospitalizations based on the program, what program is that just pushing that?
that is, what's it called, the Affordable Health Care Act, which is more commonly referred to in the news as Obamacare.
That's what I thought, I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, some textbook adoptions, which we need with the switch to the Common Core. Those are reflected in these numbers too. So like I said, when we factor all of that stuff in, we are very close to being right on target with what we had shown the community with passing that levy that we did. So, Todd, you want to add anything else?
Okay, any other comments or questions? Roll call, please, Tom.
Young,
Yes.
Whittlesey,
Yes.
Busatary,
Yes.
Fletcher,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Okay, I believe that brings us to executive session. May we have a motion to recess in the executive session to discuss employment, preparing for and conducting reviewing negotiations, and matters required to be kept confidential by federal law or rules or state statutes.
So
I'll make
moved.
a motion.
Second.
Any- Yes, sir.
Just real quick, there appears to be some rumors going around out in the community. I'm going to call it a rumor because I don't know it to be a fact. That we're going back on the ballot in August. And I was hoping that we could just try and stop that rumor right here tonight as it stands, that we're not going on in August,
That would be 100% incorrect.
that we're not going.
We are not going back there.
Okay.
No- Under no circumstances are we even talking or considering.
We would have had to already do that.
Right.
So we are not, we're not, everything goes well, it'll be closer to the year 2017, but who knows, So, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not.
I think I saw something to that effect in a sound off.
There's been sound off, there's been discussion at sign-ups, there's been discussion at concession stands, I mean, you name
And
it.
it's just a shame because those kind of things really hurt us. And
Yeah.
we, I mean, Todd and Dr. Hill have gone at great lengths with our 5-year forecast to go through and say, we are going to be pretty close to where we said we were going to be before we passed the levy, now with all the new things that have changed that he reviewed. And we're
Right.
still going to be right there. So we're doing our absolute best to keep just right on track to what we promised before the levy passed. So we were trying to do what we promised we were going to do, we are trying to do. So, and that does not include a ballot levy anytime this year. And never say never, but boy, I cannot imagine any circumstances next year, or maybe even the year after, but I mean, it's just certainly not this year.
Thank you.
Nothing in the
for bringing
foreseeable
that up.
future.
I will say, it felt really weird to not have to worry about it.
Yeah, none of us have thought
Felt this
about
really
it
big
for a couple months.
sense of
for
relief,
sure.
to be quite
It
honest.
had not crossed my mind for 2 months. I don't know, think about it.
John, did you hear that?
No.
You said a rumor about him running for Ohio STEM Mountain is true.
Did that
Oh,
happen?
yeah, I already sent him
I
a check
appreciate
for that. I'm just hoping that with Brian confirming that this is not going on the ballot, we can stop this madness. That
So, thank you for
is
bringing
my
that attention.
opinion.
Hey, and we haven't heard that, so that's good.
Wow.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead, we can finish that now. Anyways.
Roll call, please.
Young,
Yes.
Whittlesey.
Yes.
Busatary,
Yes.
Fletcher, Jones.
Yes.
Okay.
All I was gonna say, Sean, do you wanna talk real quick about June 1st?
I can.
I mean, why are we still taping so that people hear it?
We're in a position right now where we're not getting a lot of participation. Community Day, we hope to bring back for June 1st. So that's Saturday. It would run from noon to 6 here at Waterloo. Last year we had vendors, we had kids activities, and currently, right now as I sit here tonight, we have 2 signed up vendors. So it was supposed to mimic that we did at Christmas, where we ended up with 40 vendors in a packed elementary school. So the deadline for vendors is currently set at May 15th, so next Wednesday. We are attempting to hold a cornhole tournament, which has been successful for other schools. We tried that last year, just kind of ran into some snags, and again are running into some this year. So at this point, the event is still on, but I'll be honest, sitting here tonight, that if the phone doesn't start ringing or the emails start coming in or my mailbox starts overflowing, we're gonna run into some issues because it's not what we had anticipated.
And then once that decision is made, we'll set a final time for this tree planting memorial.
That would be kind of nice to tie it all together.
That's what we thought. We thought that would be a great opportunity if it's there. If not, we're still gonna need to plant the trees, so we'll probably still do June first. We'll set a time after we know that.
Okay, anything else? We do not expect to take any action upon reconvening.
Stay on.